Stand for pledge of prayer flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, just want to start, this meeting has been properly advertised and posted in accordance with Public Law 75, Chapter 231. Can we take roll call?
Yes. Mayor Gepetti will not be here tonight. Clark will not be here tonight. Dash.
Here.
Dovey.
Here.
Galloway. Here. Heist. Here. Hesse. She's muted. Keener.
Here.
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 Right.
Here. Okay, next, can we approve the minutes for February 13th, 2025 council meeting?
I'll make that one.
I'll second it.
Yes, we have a motion. And wait, and it's seconded.
I second.
Can we, yeah, can we vote by aye?
Yeah.
Aye. Next, we have public comment. Are any public comment on the agenda items? Excluding items listed for public hearing. All right, seeing as there's no, can we, is there a motion to close public comment?
Make a motion.
Okay. All right, next we have our council committee chair reports. Anyone here for finance redevelopment? Is Joe, are you prepared to do that?
Not at this point.
Okay.
At this minute, yeah.
All right, is there a report for?
She turned up.
Yeah, he said it not this minute though. I can.
Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Also, if you have more than one committee in which you chair, you can speak on that as well. I see Kim, is she on remotely?
I am.
All right, how about safety?
Does she have it? Did she say?
I have nothing for safety.
All right.
And as far as code goes, there's nothing for code at this moment either. And Rotary, nothing.
Okay. Public Works, Highway?
First, I'd like to defer to Jared.
Thanks.
This is kind of like, I have to get used to this now. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So earlier today, I sent an email that Councilman Wright, Councilman Dovey, and I interviewed 7 candidates for the DPW superintendent. Everyone interviewed very, very well. Prior to that, we also spoke to one of our current DPW employees who shows quite a bit of promise, and we wanted to provide a little bit of guidance from Councilman Dovey's experience and my experience. So we had a good meeting with him prior to that. And so out of the 7, the small committee that met has agreed to re-interview 3 of the 7 for a second time. I'm not sure when, probably where is here, but I'm not sure when we're going to do that, but we're going to have to figure that out. As far as the DPW report, I really like the chief's format, so I'm going to give you a bunch of numbers just like the chief does. We've dealt with more than a few snowstorms. We've applied approximately 4,000 gallons of brine during this last 7 weeks, 75 tons of salt. We've hand washed and cleaned over 100 NPP and lake trash cans. We've built 5 pressure treated picnic tables, removed 6 trees, many of them, well, a few of them during emergency callouts. We really don't take out trees unless they come down. We've responded to 10 code enforcement issues. With the police help, we were able to continue to start installing cameras in and around some of these areas that code enforcement has been bringing to our attention. And this week, Raymond started grading the dirt and unpaved roads. And on March 10th, not this Monday, next Monday, we will be sweeping Main Street on Monday mornings So I just want to remind everyone, there's no parking on Main Street from 4 to 6 AM. And that's when we'll be sweeping Main Street. In March, I expect to work quite a bit with the Crusaders, with youth sports. Work on getting the lake ready. We also have some mandatory DEP items at the lake that we need to address. And I do want to continue to thank the individuals who I work with, who listen to me at 7 o'clock when I show up every morning, Raymond, Tyler, John, and Junior. I'll probably be gone in a few weeks because it's just getting a little too much for me. And I'm sure that within the next few 3-4 weeks, we'll have a new superintendent on board.
A question.
Yeah.
The no parking on Philadelphia Avenue, is that every Monday?
It looks like it. That's the way the signs are, right?
And that's for a long
3 to 6
time.
a.m.
3 to 6, sorry, yeah. So we'll be there at 4.
You should probably put that in your newsletter.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, we'll be there at 4 o'clock.
I have a question. You said you sent an email. Was that to all of council?
It was that committee.
The committee,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
I think there were 4 members of the.
No, that's fine,
committee.
because you said you sent an email. I wasn't sure and I didn't receive
Oh, yeah,
it, so I
sorry, I
wasn't
should have
sure.
clarified. Yeah, to the Public Works Council Committee.
Okay,
Do you think you could let me know the ones you're not re-interviewing? Because I've been getting some phone calls and emails.
I got it. That's the one question I gotta know, like, when did we decide the 3 that we were gonna re-interview?
That night. That night.
Oh, that we just, I thought, because I thought we were having another committee. I thought I missed the meeting or
No,
something.
no, you were there.
No, I was there for that one. No, I thought we were gonna have another, actually, committee meeting. Yeah, I thought I missed it. No, that's all
Yeah,
I'm
we're
saying.
gonna have
Yeah.
a meeting, but it was Mason, it was those 3.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I know who you're talking about. Yep.
At least I could reach out to them. and
Yeah.
Tell them.
So Jerry, are you gonna be here tomorrow?
No, I have to go to, Harris for a tree conference.
So Meg, I'll come in and go over.
Okay, or if you just told me that.
We can notify
Okay, sounds good.
the candidates were not moving forward,
Yeah,
and the other will give them some idea when we're gonna have another meeting.
correct.
So hopefully the full committee can be involved in that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
whatever works, I'll do my best, even if I have to do by Zoom, because I'm up north
Mhm.
several nights a week, but I'll do my best to be able to attend.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, property cemetery.
Property, we didn't have a property committee meeting, but I inadvertently attended a safety committee meeting. And it was very interesting, and I got to tour City Hall, and they pointed out some areas that need attention. I guess it's for the GIF, it was?
Yes.
Okay, so that
It
was
was
really
statewide.
good.
It was our
That was
insurance
really
and
good.
the risk
Went
management.
around and we identified the areas that need to be, tidied up and little repairs around the base of the building and so forth, so that was good. And what was the other committee? Sustainable Egg Harbor City, we had a meeting Tuesday. It was very well attended and we got support from the Atlantic County Conservation District. And they are interested in doing something that I like the idea of it. It's a mayor's monarch butterfly program. So we're gonna talk about that and maybe we can tackle something like that over the summer months or in the spring. We're also planning to do a spring environmental series. We heard from the Pinelands Preservation Alliance and they have funding to purchase rain barrels and all the fixtures needed, so we could have a rain barrel making workshop. And they offered to do another program on the flora and fauna of the New Jersey Pinelands, which I don't think people appreciate the Pinelands for what it's really there for. So we'll have a little educational program about that. We're also working on a recycling program, and this is community-wide. We will collect used notebooks that still have blank pages in them. And we will send them off to a high school student up in North Jersey who takes out the clean pages and makes new notebooks, spiral bound notebooks.
That's
And
cool.
they will even put your logo on it and everything. And then we could redistribute them to the community. So
That's cool.
They should advertise in schools, because I think.
Yeah.
They're now.
Yeah.
Every year, I usually do, like the ones that have like a decent amount, I always see it, because I
yeah,
can't throw it like. all
so
away.
put them aside in a box and
Mhm.
we're gonna collect towards the end of the school year. Just then,
Galloway, if I can make a suggestion, anybody who has kids in Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts,
Mm-hmm.
or Eagle Scout or their goal project, they can build boxes at school to put
Put
them
them in.
in.
well, they provide them. This company provides them.
The notebook.
No,
No,
not
it's just a
boxes.
file boxes, okay, well then,
But you know, maybe they could be decorated or
Yeah.
something, be cool.
replacing.
So
No, that's
we're
a good-
excited about that. And then we want to do some other programs as well. So I think we are planning mountain laurel walk or when the mountain laurel is blooming, which would be mid-May. Last year we did it too late and the buds were all freeze, so. And some other stuff. So we have no schedule yet, but we're trying to do like Saturday morning programs and things like that, so people can attend. And the other day, we had a training program with the Davies Resource Group on the Tree Keeper Inventory Software Program. And boy, is that really a powerful program. And there's lots of different layers of trees that you could pull up. And we have, how many, Jerry?
3,266.
How about the heritage trees?
We have 18 heritage trees, which are larger than 40-inch diameter at rest level.
And the largest tree in Egg Harbor City is on the 200 block of Buffalo Avenue. It's a
56-inch.
56-inch tree. So we have some big trees in Egg Harbor for sure. And we did lose some trees from the windstorms. What else? Ryan, we're working on with that Tree Keeper software. We're going to do a Sustainable Jersey action item, which is called the Heat Island Assessment, and that will identify the areas in the city where we need trees for shade. And we will get, depending on how comprehensive that report is, we'll get up to 25 points for that, which is a lot. And we're also, Ryan is going to be taking, and some of the staff here are going to be involved with the climate change vulnerability assessment, which will look at some of the areas, weaknesses from climate change that we have, such as localized flooding. And I'm really concerned about wildfires. So we'll do that. That will also provide 25 points. And Remington and Verdict signed up for a complete streaks technical program from Sustainable Jersey, which will also provide 25 points. So if we could get all this stuff done by July, August, we might get silver certification this year, which is an amazing feat. Very few communities in the state achieve that. So I'm really proud of that. That's it. I got it all.
Thank you. Councilman Wright, do you have anything for Parks and Playgrounds and
No.
utility? All right. I guess I'll go last. License and ordinance, we didn't have a meeting because it was only like a singular topic, which we will still discuss moving forward. I spoke to Orlando, we'll be saying possible ordinances review. But there's nothing to report at this point. The land use board, they did have a meeting on February the 18th, and they addressed a request for a waiver for site plan review and approval from the Euro Sports Center that's at 1500 to 1524 Grant Street. It involved a 2005 requirement for street paving, which at this point it was debatable as, I'm sorry, sidewalks for sidewalks. At this point, you know, it's been almost 20 years. So they approved the waiver with conditions. Lastly, Iron Haven, they did not have a meeting. They will have a meeting next month on 17th. Moving on.
Carl, I think Joe might want to give a report now.
Oh,
I do have a report for finance. You
Thank you.
remember a couple meetings ago, we had tabled an ordinance for Rocky's building on Philadelphia Avenue and Deer Street. And there was some concerns about the appearance of the property. What he's looking for is to change it from medical to recreational growth, agricultural. And so we asked him, we had a meeting with him with the finance committee, and we asked him to clean up the property before we move forward with the ordinance. Jody, I just sent you some pictures of what he's done so far. We had our code enforcement guys go out there and take some pictures. So my question would be, Are we satisfied moving forward? Are we comfortable going forward? And introducing the ordinance that we tabled a couple months or a couple weeks ago? And a couple meetings ago, and
Joe, I don't even have to look at the pictures because I drive by it every day. He didn't clean it up. He
I'm
put
gonna
it-
say it looks
he-
the same. I haven't
he
noticed
put
anything.
it
you didn't see
behind,
you didn't see the fabric he put up on the fence?
yeah, he put it behind. All he did was put fabric on the fence covering up the mess behind it. That's not cleaning it up. That's hiding it.
Well, he said some of those molds, he said he moved to the back. I don't know if that's, I can't see it real well on the
It
picture.
still looks horrible.
Yeah.
It's still a mess.
Okay, that's fair enough then. Well, see,
They
he
did
did
talk
move,
about
he did move some of the, go back to that one picture, Jody. Right here. You go up a little bit. Well, that's where we stand. It's up to council right now if you want to reintroduce the ordinance or not. And he said he's in a hurry to get this done. He's said he's trying to cooperate with us. I'm not making a pitch plus or minus for it. I'm just saying this is what I've been dealing with the last few weeks.
What's the name on this?
Well, I haven't seen it personally, only through these pictures, because I'm in Florida right now.
Personally, I don't think we have enough information to make a decision tonight, based on just these pictures up on the screen.
Personally driving by, I say no. I think he just basically, it's. To me, he put a Band-Aid on what he had. He didn't fix it. He covered it up. He put something in front of it. Oh, let me just, put something in front of it and I will hide it behind. If he's making the best attempt to make it look presentable, then make the best attempt. You want us to give you what you want, then put your best foot forward and do what you need to do to make that presentable to our town. You're gonna make a lot of money doing what you're doing. So show us that in good faith that you're gonna do what you need to do to make your property, which has looked like this for the 30, how many years have I lived here? 33 years? Show us that, and it's looked like that. Show us that you're gonna put your best foot forward and clean this up.
I agree with Donna. I don't think he's putting his best foot forward. And furthermore, once that black fabric comes down, I can just see it.
Yeah, you're gonna see the same thing we saw a month ago.
It's down, and he's already got his okay. You really think he's gonna put it back up? No, he's gonna go out there with silver duct tape and cover the holes.
I agree.
Okay, fair enough.
To be fair to Dr. Traki, I just wanted to say that when we met with him, he said that he is still building boats and some of those molds he needs. So.
Some, not all.
Not right. So, we said, well, could you hide them? And we suggested that he put a fence up between that building and the property line on Philadelphia Avenue and put everything in the back or on the side, the left-hand side of the building. And the fabric cover, I was alarmed when I saw it because that doesn't last long. It's a temporary fix to that.
Well, a couple
And
of stores, that thing's gonna
in a
be
couple of
long
years,
and
it's gonna get shabby looking, and I agree that,
A
that's
good
not,
windstorm.
yeah, so I agree.
Okay, fair enough. I'll relay the message to him.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
And that's all I have for now.
Okay. All right, well, moving on, do we have a report from our chief of police? Thank you.
I like the way this meeting is going, so I will keep it brief. Some numbers for you. In the last 2 weeks, we've had 1 burglary, 3 cases of fraud, 2 stolen motor vehicles, 5 thefts, 7 motor vehicle accidents, 2 pedestrian stops, 16 traffic. 25 summons. We've had 6 total arrests, or I'm sorry, 5 total arrests. 7 business alarms, 53 crime prevention activities, 1 criminal mischief call, 1 domestic, 13 EMS incidents, 6 firearms ID applications, 2 follow-ups, 144 property checks, 7 public service calls. One thing that I do want to bring to everybody's attention is there has been an uptick in fraudulent texts and fraudulent emails for scams, not just personal, but also for municipal stuff. Apparently there is an issue with 365. We do have a multi factor authentication, but please be aware of anything that you click on and it doesn't look like it's good, just don't do it. And your jurisdiction is going through some stuff with some ransomware, so just please be aware. I will be working with the FBI to put on another presentation. We have done senior fraud, financial scam stuff, but we are going to be revamping it because it's not just seniors that are being impacted. And as soon as we have something scheduled, I will let everybody know.
I talked to Jessica recently and she said that that was considered DEI and they're no
So
longer.
the FBI is no longer doing that. However, Jessica and I are working together so that we on the municipal level can do the presentations and will not directly involve the FBI.
Okay, great.
So yeah. Any other questions, concerns?
Well, just one quick question. And correct me if I get the color wrong, the blue envelope program? Are we still involved in that? And can you talk about that a little bit?
So the Blue Envelope program, I'm not sure where the impetus came from for it to start up again, not again, but the Atlantic County Association of Chiefs of Police, we started doing that, I believe it was 2 years ago. And basically it's a blue envelope that anyone who is on the autism spectrum can have in their vehicle. So if they have any interactions with law enforcement, they can hand that information over. And it can indicate, you know, that they may have sensitivity, like they may not be able to look you directly in the eye. And it also gives guidance to officers on how to deal with people who are on the spectrum. You can come to our police department. We do have them available for anybody who wants them or needs them. And we have done in our police department training with special services, specifically about different things with autism and how we can better interact with anybody that we come into contact with who is on the spectrum.
Chief, is that just for autism or can that be used for somebody who has like a TBI?
I don't see why they couldn't use it for a TBI. A lot of times, some of the things that present with TBI and autism are similar. So
Right,
absolutely.
like the memory loss, you know, can't remember where they live, their last name, something like that,
Yes.
you know.
Oh, I forgot that was a red light.
Well,
You know,
so yeah. So yes, it may not put you out of a ticket.
you know,
but
I mean, I know
because-
somebody who has traumatic brain injury and struggles to remember her last name. She can tell you her first name, but she struggles to remember her last name. She has a child who has autism. So it's very difficult, God forbid she gets in an accident, to be able to tell the officer that her child has autism and what her child's needs are because she has a traumatic brain injury. So I was just wondering if it would be like a carryover for something like that.
Absolutely. And we recommend that, parents who, if they have children in the vehicle, it's like, it's okay to have that envelope and be like, here, this isn't about me, this is about my child. Because, if you have somebody in the car who is on the spectrum, they may have a very different reaction and which can, just escalate the situation and make it a little bit more difficult for everybody. So,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank
Anything
you.
else?
Thank you, Chief.
Chief, I do have
no,
one
no.
question. Chief,
Oh.
excuse me. I have one question. I've been meaning to ask you, the Ballard light over by the post office, does anybody know what happened to it?
It was struck by a vehicle.
We're in the process of an insurance claim for it. It's been in the process to get replaced.
Is it? Okay. All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, do we have a report from our CFO?
I just have like my year-end bank balances. So December receipts and disbursements. December receipts were $7,961,976.72. December disbursements of $7,963,950.82 for an ending balance of $10,668, $281.49. And then I just wanted to give a quick update on, we had talked about the EV chargers last time, so I finished applying for the pays to plug in and the New Jersey Clean Fleet charge up. You can't have both, so we'll see whatever happens. The vendor that we're gonna hopefully award to suggested just applying for both and seeing kind of which one gives you more and how they both happen. So they both need to be applied for before you approve the purchase, and then the Atlantic City Electric incentive is done after the fact. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to award that at the next meeting, if not the second meeting in March, but I just need to find out about those 2 grants beforehand. So
That'll give us extra points too.
Thank you.
so that's it, thanks.
Next, do we have a report from our city clerk?
I do not.
All right, thank you. Do we have a report from our city attorney?
I do not.
All right. So, moving along on the agenda, number 12 is a motion to approve a use of Peace Pilgrim Park, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. For a Peace Pilgrim celebration, July 19th, 2025, 10 a.m. walk and picnic.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next, we have a use of Rotary Park, Sam Wiener Easter egg hunt. And that's April 12th, 2025.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a resolution amending the salary resolution of 2025. Maybe that'll be a roll call.
Could you, make a motion first?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, make a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Question, why is this being changed now? For the plowing.
Oh,
Wake manager.
because we thought we had it and that's what we had done in the past, but I couldn't find anything, so I just wanted to update it.
Roll call.
All right, roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
Yes,
Galloway,
Yes.
Heist,
Yes.
Hesse,
Yes,
Keener. Timbers,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yes, I had it muted, sorry.
Right now.
Oh, I thought you were saying it passed. Okay, good. All right, next we have a resolution to appoint right to know officer Jerry Barbario. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
second,
All right.
Question?
You have a question?
Yes, no disrespect to Jerry Barbario, I'm just wondering why we're giving a right to know officer position to an interim part-time employee. That's gonna be temporary. Do we have any other full-time city employees that could do this job?
We just recently had a safety meeting where some right to know issues were brought up that weren't up to date. I think Keith Adams was the right to know
Yeah.
previously, but there were some concerns and Jerry does it in his other town and was willing to get us up to snuff for now till we hire somebody full-time.
So in this resolution, does it state that this is on a temporary position till the job is filled by a full-time employee for the public works position, or
I mean, I didn't put that in there, but if that is council.
how do,
positive,
you
I
know?
can Amend it to have that.
Well, if Jerry leaves, there'll be a vacancy and it'll be assigned to the next person. We'll do this again.
Well, if he leaves as public works director, yes.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean he would be leaving a right to know office.
Or he's leaving as the arborist?
Well, he's no longer our arborist because we don't have the funding to pay him anymore.
Well, it's still appointed as.
I mean, if it comes back, we'll be able to use him as an arborist, but
I would say
That's
that job doesn't
president.
need to be full-time.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Joe, I apologize.
I would say, I don't think that position needs to be full-time. for What is
No.
done, and maybe Jerry
Right,
could
you know,
comment
no,
on it.
it's a stipend.
Yeah.
Jerry, would you comment on the position and what it entails?
So, council, after the safety meeting, not having a right to know officer is a little bit of a problem. But councilperson is right. If I'm not here, then there's no sense for me to be the right to know officer. So it should be until my temporary position at BTW finishes, or, we separate from that position. But the city needs someone, and I know how to do it.
Change it to say interim right to
Yeah.
know officer. Why don't we just?
I'll amend it,
Okay.
The motion to include.
Thanks.
Right.
So is
I'll second that.
Do you have a motion second on his motion? And can we have a vote on that?
Question.
Or, yes,
So is the salary amended to go with the amended motion?
It's not paid up
It's-
at once, so it doesn't really matter if it's like how long, it would just be just
I read
it's a 1,500
A year.
stipend,
Yeah.
that,
Per year.
yeah, it's an annual stipend of 1,500, but would that be paid out monthly? or?
It'll be pro.
Yeah. So if he,
Just pay it as, he has that position, he'll get that piece.
Right,
Same as any other,
Right.
person, so.
Okay, thank you.
appreciate it, thank you.
so, on that motion,
I second, dude.
you seconded, okay,
Roll call.
roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
Yes,
Galloway,
Yes,
Heist,
Yes,
Hesse,
Yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Okay, now we're moving back to the appointment. Appoint right to know officer Jerry Barbario. Do you have a motion on that?
motion,
I'll second.
All right, and roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway,
yes,
Heist,
yes,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have a resolution approving accumulated absence for Jacob Thicken. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
second,
All right, roll call.
Yes, Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway,
yes,
Heist,
yes,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have a resolution for utility cancellations. Do we have a motion?
so moved,
Second?
second,
Okay, roll call.
Which one was this?
Number 16.
16.
For utility cancellations.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway,
yes,
Heist,
yes, sorry,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
And Meg, I'll call out the number, so it's no confusion. Number 17, resolution authorized credit card payments and electronic funds transfer payments. Do we have a motion? Do
motion,
we have a second?
Second.
All right, roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway,
yes,
Heist,
yes,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers,
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
Okay, number 18 is a resolution for the refund of overpayment of property taxes for 100% disabled veteran case 2023-01.
motion,
Second. All right, roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway,
yes,
Heist,
yes,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
All right, next we have number 19. It's a resolution for a refund of overpayment of property taxes for 100% disabled veteran case 2023-06.
motion,
Second.
All right, roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway,
yes,
Heist,
yes,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Wright.
Yes.
All right, number 20 is a resolution authorizing application to the South Jersey Planning Organization Complete Streets Technical Assistance Program. Do we have a motion?
motion,
Second.
All right, roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway.
yes,
Heist,
yes,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All right, number 21 is a resolution authorized renewing shared services agreement with the Atlantic County Improvement Authority, lead-based paint testing and First Amendment to the agreement. This will add an additional 2 years to the original agreement. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All right,
question,
yes,
do we pay anything towards this? No.
Mm.
roll call.
Dash.
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway,
Yes,
Heist,
yes,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All right, 22, we have a resolution to support publishing of legal notices on official government websites. All in favor?
aye,
aye,
All right. Next, we need to pay the bills. So
Make a
we have
motion.
Bill list.
second,
All right, roll call.
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
yes,
Galloway,
yes,
Heist,
yes,
Hesse,
yes,
Keener,
yes,
Timbers.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So now, are there any comments from council?
I just wanted
yes.
to mention one thing on here with this, this resolution supporting legal notices.
Okay.
We added one clause in here that asking the state to establish an official website where counties, municipalities, and other agencies can advertise at no cost. I was concerned when I read this because if they do not advertise in the newspaper, which is widely, distributed in the community, if we're putting out RFPs for jobs, I don't think that contractors are going to be going to individual municipal websites to find opportunities. So if there was a central location where all of our advertising could go in a central location at a state level, one website they would check. So that was added to this. This resolution is being passed by all the municipalities, but ours has that one clause in there. And I did speak to the president of the League of Municipalities last week about it. He said they're working on it. But, to get the state to create a website is challenging, so.
I'm sure it'll be so user friendly once it's.
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
Well, I know the county has their website where they put all their bid offerings. So if we can't get into a state one, maybe we could do a county one, but.
Just to be reiterate on that, mostly RFPs and things like, especially the professional ones, we know them in advance. We can use a paper that doesn't publish daily, so the information is getting out there. The website, or being allowed to put on your website, is just another tool to get it out there, even more than the newspaper would get it out there.
Mhm.
So we're not doing it, it's just being able to use something else. We're not gonna do less in papers and like I said, most of what we advertise is planned, there's not too many dead links.
It's hard sometimes when it's like, you kind of need information and then you have to wait like a whole week because the paper only comes out once a week and we couldn't get it in their deadline, you know what I mean?
I'm talking about more like RFPs,
Yeah.
things that's yearly, like
Right.
we plan for that.
Yeah.
In a demolition of a building, we'll have to wait till, for a bid to go out. We're not gonna rush into something like that, emergency.
Right.
I think the website is more emergency, kind of, that we followed the rules of the laws of advertising in public.
Well, it's not so much for transparency as it is for saving money, because if you could get multiple bids.
Right.
Chances are you're gonna get a better price. But for, a lot of times we get one bid and we're stuck accepting it.
I mean, I've been involved where I send them out to people, like, because nobody reads the paper, nobody
Yeah.
looks at the website, so we kind of compile people who do the job and send this stuff out.
I can't tell you the last time I read a paper.
I've got a work audience that disagrees with your statement.
I always use that.
Yeah.
More about, because it's only a weekly publication, like there's,
And it's
So-
on the website.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
it's
mostly,
going through the legislation right now. They're actually working to try to eliminate, some officials are trying to eliminate legals anywhere outside of the government. So
Mhm.
obviously, government tracking government, I'm opposed to.
Mm.
Thank you.
I thought maybe I thought maybe the state could reimburse the League of Municipalities. I know on their website, you can post RFPs. Just a
That's
thought.
Councilwoman Hesse, do you have any other comments?
No, that's the only comment I have. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Councilwoman Heiss.
nothing.
All right, Councilman Dash.
Yes, there's been a lot of social media talk this week about a situation that happened with one of the feral cat colonies in our community. I'd like to just say that, as the director of the Humane Society of Atlantic County and, city council, I am working with the city officials to come up with a plan to address that issue, to support that, and also to make sure that best practices are being followed. So it's best for the community, best for the caretakers, best for the animals. And so we are currently working on that. I see we have some members of the public that are here that are involved. I'd like to commend you for all your hard work. I know there's a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of time goes into it. I'd like to just encourage all of my council member people to continue to work with us to get this resolved. And I appreciate everybody's support.
Councilman Dash.
You will get to come up as soon as council talks and it's public comment, then you'll have your turn.
Councilman Dash. Thank you for your energy on this.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Councilman Dovey,
I don't have anything to add.
okay. Council President, do you have anything, any comment?
I am enjoying my time down here in Florida, and the Phillies tied the Yankees today, 7-7, which is spring training games cannot go past 9 innings. So they were tied after 9. Unusual, but that's what happened. And it was very hot down here, I'm sorry to say. But I'm anxious to hear what people have to say about the Cats in the audience.
Thank you. Councilman Wright? Nope. All right. With that, I guess we move to public comment.
Okay, excuse me, could I
Oh,
Could I
I'm
add
sorry.
something? I would just like to say that I spoke with risk management and they're looking into this to make sure that it's, in the city's best interest. And so risk management will be looking at this as well. Just so they know.
Yeah, this as in the
Cats.
cat colonies?
Yes, the cat colonies, yes.
Would you like to see something done differently than what's being done over the last 5 years?
What exactly has been done with the cat? I didn't realize we had cat colonies out there. I didn't know that was, I thought it was against our ordinances.
Okay, so I can, if the council likes, I can address it.
Well, I think this should be discussed in committee first.
Well, the councilwoman has to ask the question.
Alright.
So, I'll yield to Council Pro Tem, if you want to discuss it now, or if you want to hold it into ordinance.
Okay, so for this issue, I think it may be better to hold it at committee. That way I very much like you to come and present to us. The way I envision is that we'll have it in committee and we'll have something to give to our council. And he can help us and direct us.
Very good.
All right, thank you. So if there are no more comments from us, we can move on to public comment. Yes.
Yes.
May I ask you a quick question while she's walking up there?
You have to
No,
come
they
up,
had to
you have
come
to
up
come
here.
up and say your name and your address. It
Yep.
has to be on public record.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't make the rules.
My name's Sue Nelson. I'm with the cat colony out in the Philadelphia Village Apartments. I don't live in Egg Harbor City. I live in Egg Harbor Township. But for 5 years, I've been out there every day feeding the cats and trapping them and finding homes for them. So this was really hard to, like we were in the midst of trapping more that were injured, pregnant, and then everything was gone. I left my number on the tote, like to say if there was any issues, to call me or, so, I'm just asking for your help, like how we can work this out, that I can continue to try to trap these cats. I live in Egg Harbor Township, but my job took me to the Village Apartments, when I was, let's see, what's it called, when COVID hit. I ran a pediatric medical daycare. I had to go out to the apartments. I saw these sick cats, pregnant cats, cats eating out of the dumpster. So that drove me to start helping those cats. And I had never done it in my life before. It was just, I kind of got hooked.
Approximately how many cats have you removed from that area?
At least 50, with the spay and neuter and then some of the tenants asked us to neuter and spay their cats, which we did. And there's a few we had to return, they're feral, and I still see them out there, but one was on its 4th litter by the time I got there. So, and like I had put, I didn't know it was illegal, I'm sorry, but I had put shelters out there with straw, for the cats to be in the midst of the winter. And then I built like a feeder that, so other animals couldn't get inside it. Like it would just have like the cat holes for them to go inside. And, I'd feed them every day.
Can I ask you, what happened to the 50 cats that
We found homes for them.
you put 50 in homes?
Well, U2U or Cape Atlantic Cats, they helped me, yes.
And there, how many are left, do you know?
Well, the 2 ferals that we returned, I still see out there.
What's the difference between a feral and a
Like,
non-feral?
you can't find a home for a feral, like, they're not social at all, like. And then I still see 3 that we had, spayed and neutered that belong to tenants there. Like we got them fixed, but we gave them back to them. They just asked for our
So
help.
are they allowed to keep animals in the apartments?
I believe so. I've seen people with a lot of dogs.
Yeah, they
in
got dogs,
their apartments
They're
and-
allowed to have.
Yeah. So, and we've removed sick ones. We just had one that, at the Humane Society had a palate removed. He was so sick, he couldn't even breathe.
Mm.
Another one they called about being frozen 2 weeks ago. Who's still like not too stable.
And where would you assume that these cats come from originally?
Some of the apartments, and I don't know if people dump them. I don't know where they're coming from. Sometimes when they get a kitten and they're not so cute anymore, they're back outside. And I've been told by a few tenants that when they have fleas, they toss them out. Cause I know we've taken 3 in that respect, that had fleas. We found homes for them.
So do you think it would be safe to say that you've probably prevented hundreds of cats being
Definitely.
born in
Definitely.
that area?
Yeah.
Excuse me, can I ask a question? Susan, I'm on.
Okay.
I'd like to know, who was it that got in touch with you, that you knew that there were cats out there in EHC?
When I was delivering, I had to deliver food and assess the mentally fragile children out there at the apartments. And I saw sick cats, I saw cats eating from the dumpster. And that took me there to help them.
Okay, I'm sure that,
Our business was, our medical daycare was closed because of COVID. So I was just, like delivering food and, for the kids lunches and stuff like that.
do you know if there's other places that they're doing this in? I mean, I know Atlantic City under the boardwalk, they are. Are they doing this elsewhere?
I know there's a lot of, in Egg Harbor City, there's different areas that have stray feral cats, because a friend of mine gets called out there to help them.
But
And-
no other town that you know of, just Egg Harbor
Oh, I
City?
have them at my house.
I can answer that
I have them
question.
at my house.
I can answer that question.
See,
I know, our agency knows of 67 managed colonies. That are in
Where?
all different municipalities and all different counties, and that's just in our area. Nationally, there's thousands of managed colonies. And the difference between a managed colony and just stray cats that are outside is managed colonies are, the animals are trapped, they're spayed or neutered. If they're friendly, they're removed from the colony and placed into homes. If they're wild, they're trapped, spayed or neutered, vaccinated, and put back into the environment. So the whole idea of TNR is not to have collections of cats, it's to maintain the numbers so the numbers can keep getting lower and lower. Without the TNR, the population explodes. For decades, I've been in this field for 44 years. For decades,
So you,
wait a minute, for decades, what was common was cats would be trapped and euthanized. The population's never decreased. So 25 years ago, I started getting involved with TNR, and we were able to take large numbers of stray free roaming cats, manage those colonies so those numbers keep getting lower and lower. When we started the Atlantic City Boardwalk program 25 years ago, there were 300 cats under the boardwalk. The first summer of the program, we went from 300 cats to 150 cats. To date, there's a very, very small colony of cats under the boardwalk because the program works. There's many municipalities that have this. Atlantic City has huge cat population problems because Stanley Homes, all of the residents were removed from their apartments. The dogs, if the dogs got put out, they got picked up by animal control because it was obvious that they were loose dogs. The cats, hundreds of cats got dumped out. And those cats are being trapped, they're being placed up for adoption if they're tame, and they're being put back out through feral. In a perfect world, no cat would be outside. They would all live indoors, being maintained by their owners. The TNR program is where people step in where other people have failed, and they manage to reduce these numbers by best practices of spay neuter, vaccinate, removing tame ones, ear tipping, so we know which ones are which. In many cases, they're microchipped, so they're permanently identified. Feeding stations can be set up all different ways. Ways to set up feeding programs where you put the food out for 15 minutes and then you remove it. That eliminates the chance of raccoons coming or other wildlife coming, which is absolutely what you want. You don't want wildlife involved in this at all. So
I was going to say, aren't there a lot less birds where these cat colonies
well,
are?
I can tell you, if not for the work of people like Sue here, the population that's maybe 25 or 30 out there would be hundreds of cats. So there would be a lot more birds killed, and feral cats are very well fed, so they don't need to hunt.
Yeah, but don't they just do
If
that
you have
naturally?
cats that are out starving, they're gonna be in the dumpsters, they're gonna be in people's trash, making a mess, and they're gonna have to hunt. These cats don't have to hunt because they have free room and board every day.
Can I ask what would happen if Susan wasn't here anymore?
Other people step in. Susan's not the only person that does this.
I have another girl that helps me, like she goes at night and feeds them, and I didn't know her. Like she saw that I was helping the cats and she joined in. I left her a note saying, you know, like, how about if we split, you know, the times and stuff like that. She doesn't get them spayed or neutered, but she helps me find who needs it more and, you know, like with trapping them.
And who covers the cost of spaying and neutering these animals?
Me?
You spend the money out of your pocket?
Mm-hmm.
So
And
here's
does
how.
anyone vaccinate them?
Sue puts out money out of her pocket. The Humane Society of Atlantic County puts out 20% of the cost for the spay neuter. Alley Cat Allies has given us $350,000 in grants, and we award $50 grants for every spay neuter for a cat that comes into our organization. So there's many people that are contributing. Cape Atlantic Cats works with her.
Yeah.
They're contributing. There's a lot of people that are putting the funding out to make this stuff happen. But a lot of this comes out of the pockets of the individuals.
And
What about
is there
vaccination?
Opportunity for the Humane Society to take these cats and find them homes?
No, these cats are feral cats. They don't belong in shelters. They don't belong in cages.
No.
They're wild cats.
Yeah,
It would be like you trapping squirrels and trying to find homes for squirrels. These are wild cats.
And I could never afford it. Like I'm retired. I mean, I am a nurse. I work 1 day a week. I could never afford it without the program.
Mhm.
So you get reimbursed.
I don't get reimbursed. Instead of it being $100, it's $50
Okay.
per cat. But the food cost is like insane for me. I work just for the cat's food, just to help them. I get Social Security and my pension, but my work goes right to the cat's money, food.
And keep in mind, Sue didn't start this problem out there. She stepped in when no one else did.
Mhm.
And I commend her for her hard work. So I would
Mr.
love to
Chairman?
see the city. If the city can't be an assistant to it, maybe the city could not be a hindrance to it. So I would ask that the shelters be put back where they were. I'll be happy to work with Sue. My organization will be happy to work with Sue to make sure best practices are being followed, the dairy is kept clean. I think we owe it to Sue for all of her hard work. And I think, quite frankly, those poor animals are out there with no shelter now. So I think we should allow the shelters to be put back.
The food, is there grant stuff for like to get food for it?
There is. I spoke to Sue right at the beginning of the meeting.
Mhm.
Our organization has grants from Alley Cat Allies, and we actually have distributed $150,000 worth of cat
Okay.
food or just over the last year.
Mhm.
And I'll put Sue in touch with
Yeah,
the
I think
people
that would be-
needs that helps so she can get
Yeah,
additional
definitely.
so she can get food.
Mr. Chairman,
Keep-
Carl,
Yes.
I'd just like to add something here. And I appreciate what Ms. Nelson's doing out there. And it's a great thing. Councilman Dash, you seem very knowledgeable about this since you've been doing it for so long. I just want to say one thing, on behalf of our DPW and our code enforcement people. They were responding to a complaint, and that's how this all started. And I guess between code enforcement and DPW, there were some, I guess shelters could be cardboard boxes. So is that true? Okay,
It's
Well-
straw and plastic totes.
Plastic totes.
all right. My understanding was that there was a lot of trash in the woods and there were vultures preying on the whatever was in those boxes and trash. And that's where the DPW came out and cleaned it up.
Yeah.
And our DPW superintendent is here. He can answer that. He answered it in an email to us. So I don't think our code enforcement or DPW did anything wrong. They went out there and addressed what they thought was a problem with trash that was attracting vultures, and the whole cat thing was still there. And there was shelters that they saw that they did not touch. And again, Mr. Councilman Dash, you say food should be put out for 15 minutes and then taken away, right?
That is best practice recommendation by Cat Allies and inside Dutchess County.
So it sounded to me like there was some still food out there for these cats that other animals were preying on, like the vultures. So
Excuse me. I think this is why we need to take this to committee. There's certain issues that we're gonna just keep, spinning our wheels.
Yeah, but they
have a
still just
conversation.
have their opinions and talk it out.
She's.
I mean, this is the talk of the town right now, and I think it needs to get out.
Just so you know,
yeah, and I just want to make it
remove them.
clear that I think
Right.
DPW and code enforcement did their job.
right,
And
there was.
And
I
what comes
agree.
next, what comes next is something that the committee can work on together and come up with a solution that works for everybody going forward.
But in the interim, while the weather is still bad and we're going to start getting cold weather again, can those shelters be put back on a temporary basis until something is put into ordinance or whatever for these cats that are out there now with no shelter? Especially ones that are kittens and ones that Sue said there's an ill one out there. That cat could actually
Mhm.
have passed away because it has no shelter.
I just want to add, that's why I think Risk was contacted, because the call that came in as a complaint was this, one of these cats bite one of the kids that live out there. Would the city be responsible because it's on city property? So that's why I think Ms. Hesse called Risk Management to get an assessment of where the city would be liable if something happened.
They're afraid.
It would have the same liability if Sue Nelson never came to Egg Harbor City.
No, I'm
And
just
this guy-
saying
wait a minute,
that's.
let me finish.
But we're
It would be
aware.
the same thing, it would be the same thing if Sue never came to Egg Harbor City and those cats' population got larger and larger and larger and larger.
But I think because a complaint was called in, you know what I mean, like that.
I'm not debating.
No,
I'm not debating that it could be kept cleaner out there. I was out there myself. There is trash out there. It's not all cat trash. There's all kinds of trash in those woods.
I just want to say.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I just want to say, because we have our attorney here. I have a concern from the dais, we discussed liability. So that's one of the reasons where I think it's better that something like this starts in committee, or Councilman Dash has a lot of information on this, especially about best practices. I actually think he can guide the city in a way that like in the most immediate sense, where we can address some things, and then in a committee we can address it long term, discussing like possibly even ordinance, things like that.
I just want to say with the trash, when the cats are eating, I'm walking along Cincinnati Avenue with my rabbit grabber or whatever they're called, and picking up the trash that is on the wood side. Just spent, like as the time, with the cats eating. And it's a lot of, takeout containers, like food. I mean, obviously I can't pick up the rice and stuff, but I'm picking the trash up, like waiting for the cats to eat. So there is a lot of trash out there, but it's not from me. I mean.
And it's not from the cats.
Yeah, I mean, the dumpster across the street, now they're clean. Yeah, there's no trash in front of the dumpsters, but that wasn't like that.
So my question is, I know you want to take it to the committee now, that's 3-4 months away, like when are we going to address this issue, like?
So I just said what we would do is because we have Councilman Dash.
Uh-huh.
He's he's a councilman, he can actually guide us in what is truly a best practice. But then at some point, we will most likely have to pass an ordinance.
Yeah,
So there's the
no, I
short term.
understand that, but like, what are we doing now? Like, it's about the next week, it's getting down into the 20s.
I don't think we can solve the issue in the
So
next
we
15
can't
minutes.
freeze
So we can't come up with a committee right now and make a vote that have those things out there temporarily and until we get to an ordinance or something?
I make a motion that we allow the shelters. put
I
back
second it.
Until the matter's resolved.
I mean, I don't understand why we can't do that.
Discussion.
I,
We have several ordinances already on the books regarding animals.
Mhm.
If we allow
Pigs
that,
and
we'd be in
stuff.
violation of our own ordinances. No
Oh,
person shall feed in any public park or any other property owned and operated by the city of Egg Harbor City, any wildlife excluding confined.
They're not wild. Well, the
You
feral
just said
ones
they
are-
were.
The
The
feral
wild
ones
ones
are,
are.
You just said they
there are
were.
domesticated ones.
Let me
that
finish,
you
I'm
take.
talking. Except for confined zoos and so forth like that. It says the purpose of this article is to prohibit abandonment of domesticated animals or wildlife in any park or any property other than owned by the city. Then we have another ordinance, powers and duties of the animal control officer. That it's the duty of the animal control officer, which we pay $600 a month for, to take custody and impound any animal, whether or not domesticated, found roaming or running at large, and thereafter dispose or destroy of said animal as provided in this section, and it gives you the parameters. There are also maintenance fees and so forth attached to it. So we have ordinances on the book that were already violated and are being violated every day. So if for us to, I was like, I thought I
Yeah.
got off that.
little heads up.
To violate our own ordinances, I don't think we can do that.
So what you're saying is just let the cats freeze out there.
Do you know anybody out there
Let's
in
take
the
it to
apartments that would
Ocean City
put
or-
those shelters on their property for the timing?
Maybe that town could deal with it.
I got in trouble by the manager,
Uh,
trouble, but she said
Mhm.
get them all. And I took them all.
There's a motion on the floor.
Do we have a second?
I seconded her.
All right. Still roll call.
Do we know what the motion?
This is to return the.
To temporary put their shelters back for the
could
time.
I make another motion that we,
One at a time.
One at a time.
Well, if she wants to amend that, she has the right to amend it. We just did that earlier.
What,
That's different. That was an
Only
existing.
two people that
We
made.
asked the attorney.
Hold on, there's a motion on the floor, it's been seconded, and it's been called for a roll call. There's already been discussion on it, I think you gotta move on that.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Hesse can have her motion after.
Yep.
Can talk about the motion after and then have it seconded.
Okay, so this is to allow the crates to go back or whatever.
Temporarily until we can get to,
Dash,
Yes.
Dovey,
No,
Galloway,
I want to qualify my comment. I'm a cat lover. I've had a cat in my house the whole time I've lived in Egg Harbor City. So I care a lot about the animals. But I really don't think the city should take responsibility of any kind for stray animals. So I have to vote no.
Heist, yes, and let me clarify my comment, the city's not taking responsibility. Suez. We're just putting temporary shelters out until we can figure out how to solve this problem, so these cats do not freeze out there. And then we have carcasses, and then we have turkey buzzards swarming to eat the carcasses of the cats,
And fresh kittens.
yes,
Mhm.
So you're, yes, right?
I'm yes.
Hesse,
no,
Peter,
No,
Timbers,
Yes.
right.
Definitely.
So. Oh my God. 3 yeses and 4 yeses. Oh, wait, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses and 4 no's.
Call the mayor.
It fails.
So it fails.
Kim,
All right. Councilwoman Hesse, you have a motion?
My motion was to wait to see what risk management has to say about this.
So we don't really need it though anymore. though.
No, we don't need
We still
that.
need it now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to add something too. I would think that, and Mason, you already asked the question, are there people there that could put them on the property of the apartment building there?
Right.
And I think that would be a solution temporarily to have some.
Yeah, but the
shelters there.
management, she said the management won't let the tenants do that.
Jerry, are you still in the audience? Jerry?
Yeah, he's here.
If you come out of the microphone
Jerry,
after
did-
Beto, you can.
So Joe.
Jerry,
Joe,
can I
that
ask
was-
him? I just want to ask you a question. You said you saw shelters on the
Yeah.
porches and on
Yeah,
the
so
property?
there's a couple of barbecues that cats are under, and then there was one shelter, not really a shelter like Sue had, it was a different type. And then some cat food in the rear of some of when I walked through the development. And when I spoke to Sue on Monday, 'cause we talked for about 15-20 minutes, I asked the same question,
Mhm.
can the management company or can the apartments put the shelters up? Because we still have the shelters, we didn't throw them away.
Mhm.
And she said no, that the management company wouldn't let her do that. So, if DPW is directed by council to put the shelters back, we have them, and we can put them back.
All right. Can you come up, please? Thank you. Name and address.
My name is Gretchen Griffin, and I live on St. Louis Avenue, 149.
Okay.
I originally just wanted to ask if, when this goes to committee, if that's open to the public.
No.
No, it is not.
And I also want to add my input. I don't manage a colony. I moved here 3.5 years ago, and within months of moving here, I had to spend hundreds of dollars dealing with a mother cat and a litter of kittens that showed up on my yard. And I can give you a list of all the options I tried. I have it at home, but one after another, like rescue couldn't help. The Humane Society had like a 2-year waiting list for the vet. I did get the mother discounted. I did get them all discounted, spaying and neutering, but like I had to pay normal vet rate for the kittens. It was a lot of money, and it was a bad first impression of this town, which and now that I've lived here longer, one of the complaints that people have, biggest complaints people have about this town is the property taxes. And paying for all those cats felt like a surcharge on my property. So, people like Sue are the only ones, they're like basically saving residents here like me money that they would otherwise be spending themselves out of their pockets to deal with all the stray cats that show up if they're not spayed and neutered. So that's my news. So it's a few months before it goes to committee, before the committee talks about it.
No. We're gonna have a committee meeting next month, but it's there's one where we have some issues to discuss, so it's probably somewhere between around the 12th. So.
And then when does the public get to like talk about it?
Oh, it gets brought up.
Next council meeting. Yeah.
Is it 13?
Yeah.
You can speak at every meeting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully it'll be put on the agenda.
Yeah,
The
so we
last
have
meeting.
Yeah, it'll be introduced probably by title at that meeting, and there's always public comment.
Mhm.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Sure, thank you.
Carl, just one other thing to add. I would say, and Nanette read it when she read our current ordinance, we do have an animal control company that works for the city. So in the meantime, we get down in the 20s and residents over there see a problem, they should be calling our animal control person.
Okay, but that was
And
on my
get them
list
over
of
there.
things I tried that didn't work.
She's saying it didn't work, Joe.
So you understand that our animal control officer is telling residents that they don't trap in the winter, that they won't trap until March or April? Do you know that?
I did not know that, but I'm gonna call them and talk to them about it.
Yeah, that's why there needs to be more discussion before people shut this stuff down so quickly. I am absolutely appalled
Mhm.
that we would have members of this council
Yep,
that would allow those animals to suffer when they weren't having any issues with those little plastic boxes out there. Those cats
Amen.
are still out there. They're not going anywhere.
Yep.
They're still there, and there'll be a lot more. I'm absolutely disgusted with the people that voted no.
yep, that's a shame.
Sad, it really is sad.
Alright, is, if there's no more comments, I guess we could have a motion to close public comment, if there's no one online.
Motion.
I'll make a second.
Alright. Well, then with that, motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
All. Second.
I didn't hear a second. Did I get a second?
Second.
Hey.
Thursday?
Okay.
Yes.
For committee meeting.
Yes. Yeah, you sent me the 3 names of.
I'll give you, yeah, you'll get the whole packet and then.
What do you get?